Despite the unpredictable weather we had yesterday, Suites ventured to Clerk Park for the kickoff of the 98th annual Rotary Fest. Rotary Fest runs from July 18th to the 20th this year and includes activities like the Midway, music, children's activities, and a ton of food, including the famous Rib Fest. On TV was there to check it out.
Well, it's our first night of our three-day festival, and it's Rotary Fest for the 98th year for Sault Ste. Marie. It's a night of free music. We got the Rib Fest going on, competition with 4 world-class rivers. We got a food tent, the kids zone's up, we got inflatables, and of course the Midway is always a huge attraction for the young ones. This year we're doing a 50th anniversary Woodstock honor for our main stage, so we have wonderful bands throwing back to the classics, and we also have stage 2 by the art gallery for the local artists, and some amazing young singers going to be performing there. You know what? Despite the weather, a little bit of rain just cooled it down. That was the main thing, and it still brought out all the kids and all the families, and seeing the smiles on all the kids' faces, that's the main point, no matter what the weather is. Honestly, I think the best part is the parade. I think on Saturday morning, bright and early, all the community shows up for the parade, and then everyone funnels down to the grounds, and then we just have a full day of Saturday. It's a full day of fun all the way through, and then the car draw at 11:45 at night, right on main stage, right over there, and then hopefully we're going to pick a winner that's in the crowd or wake someone up with a great phone call.
Suites of all ages gathered at Bellevue Park last evening for Arch Hospice's 5th annual Butterfly Release. The release is just one of the fundraisers Arch puts on to raise the $750,000 needed to operate each year.
Fundraise $750,000 every year, and it's events like this and having the support of our community that really allows us to open our doors and provide the end-of-life care that we do provide to our community at no cost. So you can help us out by attending a fundraiser, by donating, and it definitely means so much to have a meaningful event that our community embraces year after year.
We've come every year, and that's for 5 years running. My husband always provides the entertainment and the music, but we really come because we're so fortunate to have Arch in our community.
Well, the butterfly launch is really important to me because 3 years ago, July 3rd, I lost my husband at Arch. And I came to the very first launch about a week and a half after he had passed. And I was so moved by the crowd and the support our community gives to Arch, but more importantly, the connection of releasing that butterfly. And I've said ever since I did that the first time, I didn't want to miss the events. And Tom is here because he has a similar story.
Yeah, my wife died at Arch. She was at Arch at the same time Sally's husband, Alan, was there. We didn't really meet, but Pat died at Arch almost 3 years ago. So I've been a fan of the place ever since. You have to say it's a remarkable place, and it's an extraordinary service to the community, and it's everything that it should be and more. So events like this in the public domain are, number one, I think they provide families with an opportunity to commemorate and celebrate, but it also puts it out in the public domain, and I think Arch is really good at that.
My grandma actually passed away last week, and she loved butterflies, so my son wanted to come and release a butterfly in memory of my grandma.
European Council President Donald Tusk says he's happy that while he's been in Montreal, no one shouted, "Send him back." That was a dig, of course, at right-wing populism in a press conference with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Meanwhile, Trudeau talked about why trade is so important.
By opening up new markets, businesses are able to grow and create good, well-paying jobs that middle-class Canadians and citizens need. This agreement is helping put food on the table for families while strengthening our communities. It is unfortunate that there are still political parties in this country that are resistant to trade, indeed resistant even to trade with Europe. I mean, you think about who we can trade with around the world, and looking at Europe as a progressive, aligned in values, ferocious about fighting for the environment, ferocious about defending workers' rights and citizens' rights, as Europe has always been recently. You have to ask the question of people like the NDP in Canada, that if you don't think we should have a free trade deal with Europe as progressive, positive, and aligned as they are, then with whom?
Court records released yesterday show Donald Trump was aware of efforts to keep a porn star and a Playboy centerfold silent in the days leading up to the 2016 election.
A couple of big developments today. First was the unsealing of several hundred court records that offered new details on President Donald Trump's role in a hush money scandal involving money that was paid to two women who accused him, or who alleged that they had extramarital affairs with him before he ran for president. Donald Trump had previously insisted he was unaware of these payments. The records unsealed today in Manhattan Federal Court make clear that he had several conversations with members of his campaign who were frenetically trying to keep these stories from hitting the press during the 2016 presidential election. The second development is that the Associated Press is reporting today that federal prosecutors have decided not to pursue criminal charges against anyone other than Trump's former lawyer, Michael Cohen, in the case.
U.S. President Donald Trump said yesterday he was unhappy with his supporters chanting "Send her back" after he assailed a young Democratic congresswoman who he's suggested should leave the U.S.
This is the strategy that Trump is using. He doesn't believe that any Democrats are going to vote for him in 2020. And among independents, people that go back and forth, more of them are going to vote Democratic than Republican next time. So his chance of being reelected is to get a super turnout from his base, white conservatives, particularly non-college educated white conservatives. And by keeping them angry as can be, he's hoping that that will translate into good turnout come November 2020.
That vicious, the way she said it, vicious F word, that's not somebody that loves our country.